everybody, welcome to Hann-Made Studio. I'm Cheryl Hann-Woodlock. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about how do you store your stash. I'm going to show you my stash and how I store some of mine. It might give you a few ideas. Stay tuned. We'd like to say thank you for watching. Ceramic tiles are really hard to store, and the reason is when you look at the side you can't see the color. It's only the front where you can see the color. They're also quite heavy. My storage solution is an old bookcase. It's not that wide, it's actually quite narrow, but it stores my tiles really well. I also added extra shelving, so I can then have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets of shelves, and that helps me to see what I have at just a quick glance. Storage 1. Storing glass. Glass is so expensive, you don't want to break it, and you really need to look after it. Here I have all these shelves, and all my glass, most of my glass is stored sideways. That is my hobby sheet. So I cut all my glass into 30 centimeter sheets, which is 12 by 12 inches, hobby size, and they sit in these shelves. I have also made these boards, and they have all the codes of the glass. So at a glance, I can have a look and go, what do I need? It's there. The other thing that I have also found was that these were originally for scrapbooking. They were to hold papers, and they actually were round the other way. But they are brilliant for storing sheets of glass. Another storage solution. When I'm working with glass, I often do quite small projects, and I like to have some of my glass pre-cut. In here, I've actually got my glass stored in these little drawers. They are cut to 2" by 6 inches. So they're 2 by 6, which means that I can get 1" squares out of them, and it makes it really easy. The other thing I did with my glass is I actually wrote all the codes down, and that was something one of my students suggested on the drawers. So all the drawers actually have the code of the glass. Also, when I run out, it means I can just reorder. Okay, so this is another way I do some storage. Sometimes I don't have enough drawers, and drawers are also an expensive way of storing your stuff. They're very sturdy, but they can be expensive. The other way I have done this is getting the lunchbox containers, the plastic containers where you have to rip the lid off. But it means that at a glance, I can see what is in here. So I have all my beads, and there are my stash of beads, and when I open it up, they're all in their colors. So I've got all my colorways all organized on the shelf, so I can see exactly what I've got. So here is my bead shelf, and down here is all my smelty that I can see at a glance. So that is an inexpensive option for you at home to be able to store some of your stash. I have a lot of storage in my studio. I have a really big studio, but storage is still an issue for me. These are some of my storage shelves, and they're plastic drawers. I love the plastic drawers because it means at a glance I can see what I have, what is in there, and I have little tiles on the top. I can also pull them out and take them to my table when I'm working. Storage is always an issue, and I have a lot of things that I'm making. So when I started doing my porcelain tiles, I found that it was easier to put them into these lunchbox containers. So if you have a look, they're actually in the lunchbox containers. That worked really well. However, some of them were just too small. So I found these tiny little drawers here that just fitted my little tiles perfectly. So these drawers were an ideal size and they fit nicely on my bench. So that is another storage solution that I have in my studio. Underneath my shelves, I didn't waste any space. I ended up using styrene foam boxes. These are tools that I don't use very often, so they worked really, really well storing them under the table. So nothing was wasted. And the other reason these work really well, it means that I can still have my chair and I can still sit at the table and work without the shelves being too large. If you look in my studio, most of my storage solutions are in plastic. They're either drawers or they're the lunchbox containers. I don't use glass. And the reason for that is glass is heavy, it's slippery, and I worry about something falling out of my hands and breaking. Also, I have a concrete floor, so if my glass falls out of my hands or it slips, it means that it is going to break, it's going to shatter and make a big mess. So I don't want to have to clean that up. Whereas if I use plastic, it drops to the floor. It's very easy to clean up. It's not a real issue. It's also lighter to work with. So when I'm taking something from the shelf and putting it on my table, it's really, really light. And we know tiles are really quite heavy. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope I've given you some really good ideas for your own storage space in your own studios. You have to find what works for you, and giving you some ideas is always really helpful. If you've liked what you've seen today, could you please hit the like button? And also, can you subscribe? That would be fantastic. I'm Cheryl Hann-Woodlock from Hann-Made Studio saying thank you and see you soon. Bye for now.